The quiet truth about renting versus buying a home.
You open your mail one day, or I guess mostly it is just an email on your phone now.
Yeah, mostly just emails these days.
Right. And you see it as a rent renewal notice.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded email.
Exactly. Your lease is up for the year, and the new number is higher than last year. Again,
It always is, right?
always. And your stomach just gets tight. You sit there staring at the screen, and it honestly just feels like your money is vanishing into thin air.
Mm.
It is a really terrible feeling. So, what do? You open a new tab on your phone. You find one of those home loan tools online.
Right, it's the simple calculators.
Yeah. You type in some numbers, and it shows you a monthly payment. One fixed payment.
For 30 whole years.
Exactly, for 30 years. And suddenly, buying a home feels like, I don't know, the ultimate safe choice.
It looks so safe on a screen.
It does, but what if I told you that over the next 10 years, taking that rent increase might actually make you wealthier than the person who just bought the house across the street?
Wow. I mean, that is a very bold claim to make.
It is, right?
Yeah. And it goes against almost everything we are taught from a very young age. But, I see people go through this exact tension all the time. And it makes total sense why they do.
We all feel that quiet conflict.
We really do. This whole thing is deeply tied to our feelings long before it ever becomes about the pure math. For many of us, buying a home is completely wrapped up in our ideas of being an adult.
Right. It's like the big shining sign of success.
Exactly. We are taught by our parents, by our friends, and by society that renting is simply throwing money away. We are told that buying a house is the only way to build a real, stable life.
I hear that constantly because no one really teaches us how money works in school. We just absorb these rules from the world around us. But there is a silent struggle happening, isn't there? The fixed monthly payment looks safe on a screen, but the daily reality of owning that house is, well, it's rarely that simple.
Oh, the daily reality is entirely different. There is a quiet pain happening on both sides of this fence.
What do you mean?
Well, many people who stretch their budget to buy a home, they end up feeling totally trapped by it. We often call it being house poor.
Oh, right.
They have the keys, they have the front yard, they have the nice living room, but their entire salary finishes before the month even ends.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every single dollar they earn goes to keeping the house running. And then on the flip side, many people who rent quietly feel like they're failing at life.
Even if they have money in the bank.
Yes, even when their budget is super healthy, even when they have good cash flow and zero debt, they carry this heavy shame just because their name is not on a deed.
That is such a vivid picture. The renter feels guilty for throwing money away, and the buyer feels crushed by the monthly bills. Both sides feel like they're doing it wrong, just sitting in this weird, stressful middle ground. So if the math can actually favor renting, how does that work? Because I have been trying to find a good way to picture this. Is renting an apartment kind of like, I don't know, paying for a gym membership?
The gym membership.
Yeah, like you pay a fee, you use the space, but you do not own the building.
I think that is a really fair start. But we have to look deeper at what you are actually buying with that monthly fee.
Right.
When you pay a gym membership, you are not just paying for the right to use the heavyweights or the running machines.
Right.
You are paying a premium to outsource your risk.
Outsource risk. How so?
Well, if the motor on a treadmill blows up and catches fire,
Oh, man.
yeah, that is a $3,000 problem for the gym owner. It's not your problem at all. You just grab your gym bag and go home.
I see.
Renting a home is the exact same thing. You are paying a premium to outsource major financial risk to a landlord. Both rent and a home loan simply pay for shelter. They just convert your money into a different kind of value. Rent buys you the space, and it buys you total freedom from random massive repair bills.
I mean, I see the appeal of not paying for a broken water heater, but with a mortgage, it still feels vastly different. It feels like you are keeping the money. I know the bank charges interest, but surely I own a good piece of the house every time I make a payment, right?
That is the core illusion that catches so many new buyers completely off guard.
Wait, really?
Yes, we assume that sending $2,000 to the bank means we just bought $2,000 of our house. But banks use a very specific math structure for long loans. They front-load their profits.
Load, meaning they take their cut early.
Exactly. In the first few years of a 30-year loan, almost your entire payment goes toward interest. You send the bank $2,000, and they might take $1,500 of it just for their profit.
You are joking.
I wish I was. Only $500 goes toward owning the home. In year 1 and year 2, You're barely building any equity at all. You're essentially renting money from the bank, and the rent is very high.
Wait, hold on. Most people do not realize just how extreme that math is. You are telling me I could pay $24,000 a year and only keep a tiny fraction of it in equity.
That is exactly how it works.
Damn, that changes the whole picture.
It changes everything, and it completely breaks the myth of the fixed monthly payment.
Because the payment goes up. I thought it was fixed.
Well, yes, the loan part stays the same for 30 years, but property taxes never stop climbing.
Oh, right.
Home insurance goes up every year, and the quiet budget killer is maintenance.
How bad can maintenance be, really?
Many homes need 1 to 2% of their total value in repairs every single year.
Let me do the math on that really quick. If someone buys a $400,000 home, 1 to 2% means $4,000 to $8,000 a year just to keep it standing.
Yes.
That is thousands of dollars vanishing into new roofs, broken pipes, and lawn care.
Precisely. Which is why people who study wealth often say that rent is the maximum you will pay each month for shelter, but a mortgage is just the minimum you will pay.
Rent is a ceiling, but a mortgage is a floor.
Exactly.
Wow. So if the true cost of owning is really that high, why do people force it? There's this immense pressure, especially when people hit their late 20s and early 30s, to buy right away. I hear friends say they just need to get their foot in the door. Is it just like social panic?
I notice this social panic constantly. Think about a guy like Kevin. I see stories like his playing out all the time in real life.
Okay, tell me about Kevin.
Let's say Kevin is in his early 30s. He has a decent job. He is doing okay, but his lease is up, his rent goes up by $100, and suddenly he feels this intense, crushing pressure from his family to buy a house.
Oh, yeah. The family pressure is real.
They tell him he is wasting his life renting. And on top of that, his friends are posting photos online holding the keys to their new front doors.
I can feel the weight of that. He probably feels like he is falling behind everyone else in the whole world.
He does.
So he panics and starts going to open houses.
He does. But here's the reality of Kevin's life right now. He is still building his backup savings. He just started putting money into his retirement plan.
Okay.
If he rushes to buy right now, just to stop paying that higher rent, he will have to drain his emergency fund for the down payment. He will have to stop saving for his future. He will place himself on the absolute edge of a cliff.
All of that risk just to tell people he bought a house. But wait, what if he gets a better job offer in another city like 2 years later? He can just sell the house and get his money back, right?
Not usually. And this is a danger many people miss entirely.
Really? Why not?
Because of that front-loaded interest we talked about and the very high fees to close a loan, it usually takes 3 to 7 years just to break even on a home purchase.
3 to 7 years just to break even?
Yes. If Kevin buys a house and then moves in 3 years for a great new job, those closing costs and early interest payments will quietly erase all his gains. The math is brutal. He might even lose money.
So rushing to buy actually hurts him deeply. The pressure makes him poorer.
It does. But think about the quiet power of waiting.
Okay.
What if Kevin decides to look at his family, look at his friends, and just say, I am not ready yet?
That takes guts.
It does. He takes the rent increase. He keeps living in his apartment for 2 more years. In those 2 years, he builds a strong pile of cash. He protects his credit score. He keeps adding to his investments.
Yeah.
When he does finally buy a home, he walks into the bank with absolute peace instead of sheer panic.
That is a massive shift in thinking. Waiting is not failing. Waiting is just gathering your strength. You are not falling behind. You are just choosing to build a solid floor before you build the walls.
That is a beautiful way to see it. Timing your own readiness matters far more than reacting to a rent increase or social pressure. You cannot let a landlord's price change dictate the biggest financial choice of your life.
I agree with that completely, but I have to challenge you on the long game here.
Sure.
We have all seen housing prices skyrocket over the last decade. People buy a house, and 5 years later, it is worth $100,000 more. How can renting ever beat that? How can putting a little extra money away compete with a house that gains massive value just by sitting there?
That is the ultimate question, and it is the exact reason why people feel renting is a failure. But to see how renting wins, we have to talk about a core rule of money, the hidden cost.
The hidden cost.
Yes, the cost of the path you did not take.
Walk me through the math on this. How does the renter actually beat the buyer?
Think about the alternate path. To buy a house, you need a massive pile of cash for the down payment. Let's say it is $50,000.
Okay.
Plus you have closing costs, maybe another $10,000.
Right, so you have $60,000 just leaving your bank account on day one. It is gone into the house.
Yes. Now, imagine someone takes that exact same $60,000 and instead of handing it to a bank for a house, they put it into a disciplined investment portfolio.
Like in the stock market.
Exactly. They buy broad mutual funds that track the whole market.
Okay, so the renter starts with a large chunk of cash working for them in the market, while the buyer has that cash locked inside the walls of a house.
Exactly. And the renter's wealth engine does not stop there.
What else do they have?
Well, every single month, the buyer is paying property taxes, the buyer is paying home insurance, the buyer is paying to fix the roof and the heater, the buyer is paying that massive front-loaded interest to the bank.
While the renter is just paying their flat monthly fee.
Yes. So the renter takes the extra money they save by not paying for all those hidden house costs. They take that difference and they add it to their investments through a steady, automated monthly plan, a simple SIP.
Oh, I see.
Every month, rain or shine, that money goes into their mutual funds.
So instead of buying a new water heater, they buy more mutual funds.
Yes. And thanks to compound growth over many years, that growing pile of investments can often match or even heavily beat the equity a homeowner builds in their house. The stock market in the past grows faster than real estate. The math can absolutely favor the renter over a 30-year period.
That completely flips the common wisdom. It makes so much sense when you lay out the hidden costs of the house. But there's a massive catch here, isn't there? You have to actually save and invest that difference.
That is the vital catch. This alternate path requires real daily discipline. You cannot take the money you saved on a plumber and spend it on a nicer car or a fancy vacation or eating out every night. That is lifestyle inflation. If you rent and you just spend all your extra cash, the homeowner will always beat you in the end because the house forces them to save. You have to actually invest the difference. But it proves a crucial point. Renting is not an automatic failure. It is just a different path to building wealth if you are mindful about it.
It takes away the intense saving guilt. You are not failing. You are just choosing a different vehicle for your money. You are choosing mutual funds instead of bricks.
Exactly.
But let's look at a different stage of life, because the pressure gets really intense for families. You have a couple, they feel cramped in an apartment, they have a baby on the way, they want a better school district, they go to a bank, and the bank approves them for a massive home loan. So they stretch their budget to the absolute limit to give their family a good life.
This is a story I see everywhere, and it is heartbreaking because it is driven by love, but it ends in total stress. Think about someone like Emily and her husband. I have noticed families in their exact position time and time again.
What happens to them?
They are in the highest pressure stage of life. They are juggling a car loan, the rising daily costs of raising kids, buying groceries, and this deep emotional desire for a bigger home with a backyard.
And they walk into a lender's office, and the lender tells them, good news, you qualify for a huge amount of money. It feels like a massive victory.
It feels like a victory until the first payment is due.
Why?
Here is the danger. Lenders approve you based on your gross income.
Gross income. Wait, what is that exactly?
It is the money you make before any taxes are taken out,
Oh, right.
before healthcare is paid for, before your retirement savings are deducted. It is a big phantom number. But Emily does not pay her grocery bill with gross income.
Right.
She pays her bills with her take-home pay, the money that actually lands in her checking account.
Oh, that is a huge gap. So the bank thinks she has way more cash to spend each month than she actually does. They are doing math with ghost money.
They are. Which leaves families incredibly vulnerable to life's random shocks. If Emily and her husband take that maximum loan amount, the monthly mortgage payments will completely consume their daily lives.
Wow.
They will have a beautiful house and a great school district, but they will not be able to afford a simple pizza dinner on a Friday night.
That is so sad.
They will say no to summer road trips with the kids. They will dread the electric bill. They will be totally house poor, living in a museum they cannot afford to heat.
That sounds like a quiet nightmare. So what is the way out for someone like Emily? When the pressure is that high, how do they escape the trap before they sign the papers?
The shift happens when couples sit down at the kitchen table and map out their actual, real-life monthly budget based only on the cash they actually bring home.
The real money.
Yes. I have seen couples do this and feel a massive sense of relief. They write down the car loan, the groceries, the childcare. They look at the bank's approved loan number, and they realize the bank's number is a trap. So they make a brave choice. They decide to wait 18 months.
They just pause the dream for a little bit, even with the baby coming.
Yes. And in those 18 months, They focus fiercely. They clear their car debt. They rebuild their cash reserves. They might rent a slightly larger place instead of buying.
Yeah.
When they finally do move into a house they own, they do it without that crushing monthly burden. They move with peace, keeping their daily joy intact.
I heard an observation like this recently about a guy named Robert. He had a real moment of truth. He sat down and recalculated his family budget based only on his take-home pay, and he realized he had been stretching himself way too thin for years.
Oh, I bet that was an eye-opener.
It really was. He was paying his mortgage on time every month. The bank was happy, but he had zero peace of mind. He was losing sleep over a $50 increase in the water bill.
It changes everything when you look at the real numbers instead of the bank's numbers.
Yeah.
It takes the power away from the lending system and puts it right back in your hands. It grounds your life in reality.
You know, hearing all this makes me realize something broader about money. This decision, whether to rent or to buy, it is not a one-time permanent choice, is it? It always feels like a forever choice when you are standing there looking at a lease or a loan document. But our lives change so much. We change jobs, we have kids, we want different things.
It is not permanent at all. That is one of the best mindset shifts we can make for our own mental health. We can look at this choice differently every single year.
Really? Every year?
Yes. As our jobs change, as our families grow, the math changes. The answer for you at 25 might be renting. The answer at 35 might be buying. The answer at 50 might be renting again. And there are gentle, everyday habits that protect us no matter which path we happen to be on right now.
What kind of everyday habits? Because I think a lot of people just close their eyes, sign the paper, and hope for the best. What can we do right now to build that strength?
First, checking your credit score early and often, way before you ever apply for a loan.
Most people do not do that.
No, people ignore their score until the week they want a house. But fixing a low score takes time. A better score can save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over a 30-year loan. That one gentle habit is huge.
It's basically like giving yourself a massive discount on the total price of the house just by keeping your score clean.
Exactly. Second, never pausing your retirement accounts just to stretch for a house payment. I see people do this all the time.
To save for the down payment.
Yes, they stop their investments to afford the mortgage. But the compound growth you lose by stopping your market investments is almost always worse than the equity you gain in the house. You are robbing your future self to buy bricks today.
That goes right back to the hidden costs we talked about earlier. You miss out on all that market growth. What else?
Third, keeping a completely separate emergency fund. If you buy a house, a broken water heater should be a minor annoyance for a Tuesday afternoon, not a total financial crisis that ruins your month.
Because if you drained your savings for the down payment and you have no cash left, that broken heater goes straight onto a high-interest credit card.
Yes.
And now you are drowning in debt just to take a warm shower.
That is exactly how the cycle of debt starts for new homeowners. And for renters, there are powerful habits too.
Like what?
Do not just accept a rent increase as a permanent, unchangeable fact. Talk to your landlord. Pick up the phone. Try asking for a deal.
Really? You can just ask.
Absolutely. Try to work out a deal for a longer lease in exchange for a flat rate. Many landlords would much rather keep a clean, quiet, good renter than risk an empty unit for 3 months.
That is so simple, but I never even thought to do that. The fear of asking stops us. But just asking the question could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. It is your money. You should fight for it gently.
It really can save you a lot. But the core takeaway here, the most vital thing for people to hear today, is to release the shame around renting. We have to separate the emotional, romantic dream of a house from the pure, hard math of our daily lives.
Yeah.
The math has to support the life you want to live today, this week, this month. It cannot just support a dream of where you want to be 30 years from now.
The math has to support your life today. That makes you realize that building wealth and finding peace with your money is not about following one strict path that society hands you. It is about matching your choices to your actual life. Before we close, think about this. If a house is the ultimate symbol of being settled and established, maybe the ultimate symbol of true wealth is the absolute freedom to pack up and leave whenever you want, without ever having to ask a bank for permission.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Money Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same honest way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Money Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the Join button right next to the Money Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Money Support Circle. Your support helps honest money awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Money Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.